I'm a leather maker. I'm an artist. I'm an activist. I'm an advocate. From South Side of Chicago, Hyde Park. Went to Kenwood, Chicago Public Schools. Born and raised here. Been a creative, artistically inclined pretty much most of my life. Even a kid, writing and drawing and whatnot as a child, and the art of life. Been entrepreneurial most of my life too. Breaking leaves and shoveling snow and walking dogs. To everything, I always kept my feet on both sides of the fence. I'd be hustling, doing artwork. I had a theater company with one of my best friends, really my brother. Every legal business, if you going to work and you putting it together, you pulling it together, you making ends meet, you doing what you gotta do to get to the next step, whatever that may be, you hustling. Take care of yourself. If you producing something of value, you hustling. But then we also know what hustling is. But I was hustling too, and so that I got pop. So I did some fair time. While I was there, I picked up leather craft. Like I say, I'm artistically inclined anyway. I like to consider myself having been a flat cat, a fashionable dude, right? Not high fashion shit. I grew up, I come up in the 80s, so I'm just talking about matching starter caps and hats and sweatshirts and kicks, you know what I'm saying, gym shoes, but doing it well. So while I'm in prison and I discovered leather craft, I took to it, and also, being a natural born entrepreneur, I'm pushing what I'm creating even behind the walls. I'm making bags for guys to buy to send home to their mothers and daughters and sisters and love ladies on Valentine's Day. I'm making wallets and toiletry cases for dudes to send home to their sons and brothers on Father's Day, and they popped on Father's Day. Practice makes perfect. I had a nice chunk of time, so I got in a lot of practice, and I became, I started making things I love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I say you need to love what you make until you make what you love. I was like, what, I got it. And I still got a long way to go. But that's, in a nutshell. Actually, it was a situation was, I get to the compound, and I knew that I was gonna do something with my time. I knew I was gonna get myself together. Most dudes, at least, if nothing else, they care about, I'm gonna take care of myself while I'm here. I'm already writing stuff. So they had a hobby craft program where dudes is, you got dudes in there sewing. You got dudes making pottery, right? With the, you got leather workers. You got dudes painting in the hobby craft program. And it's strictly for your own leisure, right? It ain't no program, ain't no certificates, and they don't even approach it like that. Matter of fact, I'm in hobby craft making leather goods, damn near every day for close to 10 years. When it's time to go home, my counselor is like, nah, you can't get no good time. You can't get no extra halfway house or whatever because you ain't been doing nothing with your time. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been in hobby craft every day. Like, yeah, what you gonna do with leather though? Right, that was their attitude. Yeah. They didn't even realize, man, these are skills that people can go take if you give it to them right. It's dudes in there, man, it's artists, it's dudes behind them walls making things that are putting a lot of the stuff we celebrate out here to shame. In there, it's artists in there, man, it's painters, dude, who are killing a lot of the artists and painters that we giving props to and respect to. Yeah, you got dudes with skill that's shitting on what you seeing out here, man. Man, we got, and we run the culture out here. So imagine if we had some of that talent that's been locked away up in the mountains, just working on their craft, ain't really taking in a whole bunch of other people's work and putting it in their mind, and they out here just
really original.
It's original, bro, and it's expressive, and they've had time to sit there and cross the T's and dot the I's and get the details right. You feel what I'm saying? It's some amazing talent behind them walls, man. You trying to escape the madness, the monotony. You trying to do something with your mind, because if you locked up, you ain't going nowhere. You ain't touching no woman. You're not holding your kids. You're not eating dinner at the crib. You ain't nothing. You locked up. But if your mind is there too, you know, I've seen dudes' mind get locked up because they get occupied with nothing else and they tell themselves crazy. It's mentally challenging, bro. You know, and so you want to put your mind on something. So when I saw a hobby craft program, I was like, damn, what they got in here? I see leather. Like, oh yeah, it was like a no-brainer. Like, I want to make something. I want to put something together. I want to start something and then look and be like, yeah, I did that and I got here. It is what you can see. And I had a theater company. It was no secret to me that the system is designed to contain and hold black folks back. You know what I mean? Black men in even more physical ways. I understood that the war on drugs was what you call a pretext to wage a war on black men. That, you know, which in turn wages a war on the black community, right, in our neighborhoods. And I understood that, you know, that we didn't have no voice we didn't have enough voice in government or media to fight for us and create better policies, or even to deliver better images to influence. Whether the drill music, I think in particular, is a bad influence, right? And at the end of the day, it is. It is. However, it's a huge positive influence too, because, you know, like I've been telling people for a while, the same youngsters making money off talking about all this murder, one have really seen it, two could be doing that instead of making this music. However, once you put that story out there without the proper context, without the rest of the story, and you put it on TV and to the beat, like we were talking about music earlier, you hear somebody's story, you hear that tone, you got the visual, it's slick now, you get caught up. You a fan. Not only are they fans, you know what I mean? Not only are they fans, you start to develop a respect for the lifestyle, man. You
look at it like it's fascinating, you know what I'm saying?
It's fascinating, and you respect it. It's like, man, the dude the cat who earns all these other men's, the respect of all these other men, whether it's because of integrity or because of the fact that, I mean, you respect what's deadly. You know what I mean? That snake could kill me. I'm gonna respect that. Get that in space. You see what I'm saying? Man, any of these young brothers, you know, we in Chicago, any of these young brothers from the crib who rapping and doing their thing, 8 if not 9 out of 10 of them is talking about that business. It's talking about that action. You know what I mean? And that's what they've seen, and 9 out of 10 of them have really seen it, gone through it, living it. So what else are they gonna talk about? It's a demand for it. That's what the people want. That's what you know. That's what we're competing against. This is, you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I study business. You got to look at your competitors and your target market. What do they want? What are they hearing? They running a business. The people up top of them are running a business, but they've been running a business for decades, right? And the same business they running once pushed a different message. And so I already knew that these pitfalls, I already knew traps were set specifically with us in mind. It humbled me. You ain't cold enough to throw rocks at these people's penitentiaries. As smart and sharp as you think you is, you not cold enough to throw rocks at these people's penitentiaries and live by your code. And I'm gonna tell you, getting out ain't easy. People, they talk that, you know, believe it's not, it just ain't, it don't happen. It rarely happens, man. Your Jay-Z's and your dudes who really done it and pulled it out, you know. I know a couple, you know what I'm saying? But that's like the ratio of who really go to the league. Like I said, I'm a 70s baby, so when I come up, you know, Pop, Big, Nas, Jay, Scarface, Cube, you know what I'm saying? You catching Fly Cube, a legend, you know what I'm saying? These is, these is people who looked at the same street shit that we all was looking at, but at least gave you a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like Nas had the, 5% of influence, deeper, philosophical approach, but he gave you the streets. But he was like, I'm this guy, and felt more like an observer than a participant. Of course, everybody got their hands dirty, but dude he was a griot, he was a scribe. You know what I mean? You got Fakes, who gave you a perspective, like he in it, and he telling you, yeah, I do all that. I get down with it. But for every line I give you like that, I'm gonna tell you, man, you know, never saw a man cry till I seen a man die. He gonna tell you, this will kill you. The hero dies in this movie. This ain't what's up. These people want to see us doing this. You know what I'm saying? The hero goes to jail in this movie. The hero dies in this movie, and that's my point. We make the lifestyle, and the dudes who live that lifestyle, we make the killer, we make the hitter, we make the shooter hero. Me going away for that type of time, when I come back, it's like I'm an old ass wise man, like been in the mountains, hair growing long and white, like I got the key to the world. At the same time, I'm like a baby in a whole new place. Like, what the fuck is going on? Slowly, you know what I'm saying? I'm still doing it. You know, I'm still figuring it out, man. You know, they put you in prison is unnatural. It's somewhere it's in law somewhere, like, you know, cruel and unusual punishment. You're not supposed to suffer that. Even your criminal's not supposed to suffer cruel and unusual punishment. Prison is cruel and unusual. And then people will say, well, I mean, shit, it's gonna be unusual. You're gonna be locked away from people. It's gonna feel cruel. No, it's cruel and unusual to remove a man, you know, from society, from women and children, and so many other people in a normal system, to locking them up with criminals and doing nothing to rehabilitate. When I got out, what I saw different was how I gotta move. You can't change the system, okay, but now you understand. So now you see how low down it is, right? What you gonna do? Just be bad? You look at the system like these bitches. Yeah. They got us, you know, and sometimes you gotta sit there and take it in, like, God damn,
like,
this is huge. Yeah. Okay, take that time, take it in. What you gonna do now? Are you gonna say, well, fuck it, you can't beat them, join them, and get on the bullshit? You could, but ain't no integrity in that, in my opinion. Or is you gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna navigate this shit, figure my way, man, and bring it. I'm gonna fight you. But can I like dodge all these arrows you throw on me? Because they really simple. Yeah, it's set up, but really, if you got good sense, why you can't get around it? Yeah, it's set up. Yeah, it's unfair, it's bogus, but they still ain't that sharp. They just got bred, and they slowed us down. So we slow and we fall for the pitfalls. Well, I could just get away. Man, them people on you, man. Leave that alone and put some time and chance to dodge their bullets, man, and cuff somebody, bring somebody with you. You know, just the ones that can hear, because if I yell too loud, I'm wasting time and I could have got them. You see what I'm saying? So what I want to do is I want to fight them by, man, they throwing these darts at us, Joe. But you just gotta be wise as to not walk in the way of them darts. And that's legacy. You just keep going. You know, shit, we come from, you know, like, in America, we came to America, many of us, most of us, you know, clearly there was some of us here already, probably everybody was here already, was us. But they brought a lot of us from Africa as slaves and enslaved us, and we here. You taking me without work, and we're growing in ranks, we're growing in numbers. And so we just gotta keep that, and we did that because the motherfuckers before us and before them figured out how to dodge them darts and cuff them motherfucker and bring them motherfucker with them. That's damn near everything. And you can always talk about that, you know, the one-off who just was super fortunate, blessed, lucky, whatever, you know, and just, you know, looked up, started on Monday, the right person heard about him on Wednesday, and by Sunday, he that dude, or she that woman. You can always, but on average in real life, in real time, consistency and discipline is like, it's more that than it is your business, right? Consistency means, man, when you in business, people talk about self-made, entrepreneur, I work for myself, I sign my own checks, all that. No, you ain't shit without somebody buying your product or your service. You work for them, and you got to consistently show up for them with whatever product and customer service it is that they require. It kind of depends on the nature of the business. Every business has its unique hustle, has its unique struggles, right? Everything's different. When I'm hustling in the streets, the struggle was the streets. The struggle was, staying out of prison and out of box and moving right. You know what I mean? And there ain't no rules to that. You gotta have that had that knack. You gotta be able to see it coming. You got, you know what I mean?
That sense.
Yeah, you gotta have that sense. And you also gotta have a certain focus and drive, and a certain ruthlessness at a certain point, right?
To get shit done.
You just do, because it's a cutthroat environment. It's one of the most dangerously cutthroat environments. So it's just, you know, it's the nature of the game is a struggle. But to make it through amongst all the competition and be the one who can find the better, if not the best, and all that is you know, that can be a struggle. You know, honestly, like to take it to that level of entrepreneurialism, because it applies, right? The streets is transferable skill. But you know what? The best thing that makes selling easy, good product. I personally ain't by nature the type of entrepreneur, salesman, or hustler that enjoys selling what I wouldn't buy. You know what I mean? If I know, like, I wouldn't wear that, I wouldn't buy that. That shit whack. I ain't never did dope, but you know, if the testers say it's whack, then I know it's whack. If I was a dope fiend, I wouldn't buy that. One is a lack of capital, right? Which is a struggle most of us gonna have, a lack of money, right? If I had a ton of money, I know exactly where I put it, into what market and everything to get it, you know. But that's where the discipline comes in. That's where the consistency comes in. I gotta show up every day because I don't have that, so I gotta work hard. Yeah, you can follow me at on Instagram at Yohance Lacour, YOHANCE LACOUR, at YJL Collections, Facebook Yohance Lacour. My website is yjlacour.com, yjlacour.com. Think about how history is gonna judge you. And when I say that, when you dead and gone, whether it's your great grandkids or just, for it to be known, what side of history do you want to be on? Who did you want to be? You know what I mean? When I think about, had I been back in the slave days, I would have wanted to be Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner. I would have wanted to be, somebody who was trying to figure out how to make life better for us as black slaves and going through that situation. I wouldn't have wanted to be the cat in the house, that they used to put it on us. I wouldn't have wanted to be the house slave. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have wanted to be somebody who just took it day in and day out and just let that be my life and didn't try to figure it out. Who do you want to be, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's one thing to say, what do you want to have gone through? But like one day it's gonna be over with and you don't know what day it's gonna be. So you better start working on your legacy, whatever it might be. Legacy ain't gotta be a pile of money in a lot of companies, man. Because Malcolm X and Martin Luther King didn't have no pile of money in a lot of companies, but you know who they are. You know what side of history they ended up on. You know what I mean? And so think about that as you do whatever you're doing, man.